Hi guys, we're gonna study double ranging rook plus climbing silver today, and we're gonna talk about it from a black's point of view. And as usual, exchange pawns will be a good idea. And after the pawn exchange, rook to 7-6 is good. Not all the way through because this is the basic position for your rook. After this pawn drop, silver develops. Depending on the situation, it can go both ways. And after this pawn push, you can complete your defense. Then pushing this edge pawn will be a good idea. Not only it focuses on the edge, but also a good waiting move. And it's also possible for white to open up this diagonal to threaten the bishop exchange because there will be more free spaces in your camp, right? But that's okay because look at these. Goals are still on their original positions, right? And climbing silver strategy is especially effective when his defense is incomplete like this, and he just has pushed this pawn, and it's too soon, so you can punish this movement. So silver goes to the right instead of the left. So silver to 6-6. He would exchange pawns, and you can kick it. First, we're gonna take a look at variation when it goes to 2-2. You can brace for the bishop exchange, and he would reinforce his defense as well, but it's still not good enough because it's still here. And this pawn push is great. You can give up a pawn, but that's okay. You're gonna take this back after all. After he recaptures it, silver to 5-5. It opens up this line, so you can take this pawn by the rook as well. If he defends like this, you can just keep going, and this counter pawn push looks good, but that's okay. You can just ignore it, and you can drop a pawn right here. If he takes your silver, pawn promotion to 4-3, right? So he's already in trouble. So you're good. And all the way back to the position. What if it goes back to 2-4? Same thing. Bishop develops. Then pawn push. He recaptures, and silver to 5-5. And he would open up this line to defend this front line just like you did. If you take this pawn by the rook, he's gonna drop a pawn right here, and it's going to be defended by these 3 pieces, right? So instead of taking this pawn by the rook, you can drop a pawn on 4-5. And after this pawn push, then this time you can launch counter pawn push like this. If he takes this silver, pawn promotion is great, right? If he takes it, silver recaptures, bishop recaptures, then you can take this pawn. It can penetrate this file, and for now it secures the bishop and the gold. And here you are amazingly taking advantage of his weakness, and that's why it's really bad. If his gold stays right here, it's going to be targeted all the way. It's also possible for white to play silver to 3-4. to avoid this attack preemptively. And after this, he can drop a pawn on 4-3. But that's okay. You can play pawn to 4-4. He would take it. Then silver recaptures. Bishop goes back to 2-2. Then this sacrifice is great. Again, you can target this loose pieces, so you're going to be better. And what if he plays go to 5-2? Pawn promotion. If silver recaptures, then pawn to 4-4. Silver develops. Then pawn to 6-6 would be a good idea. And the idea of this movement is to put a better pressure on this file as well. And 6-3 square is one of the weakest point of Kim Muso. So it's kind of stiff right here, so it's also a good idea to shift your focus to the left side. Of course, you are not gonna give up your attack on this file just yet. If he drops a pawn right here to kick your rook, it goes to the central file. If silver goes to 2-5, then you can castle to protect this square. If he pushes the edge pawn, you can just ignore it, and pawn to 6-5 is a good idea. Then you can exchange pawns to recreate empty space right here. Then perhaps you can develop your bishop to 8-6 and then knight to 7-7 to focus on the central file. And once you achieve that position, then you can exchange pawns again, and after silver develops and it goes to 5-3 instead of going back to 5-5. So you have more options, and there is no good follow-up for white because this square once again is protected by two pieces and against two attackers, right? So your defense is pretty good, and again you have more options, so you are in a better shape. Alright, next one. As we learned so far, it's going to be pretty bad for white to open up this diagonal while his left gold stays right here. So instead of open up this diagonal, he would play go to 5-2 to protect this silver. Then you can play silver to 6-6, and after this pawn exchange, it goes to 6-5. It's a good square for your silver as well because it can control these three squares to put a better pressure. Then you can develop your bishop. It's looking at this square. Also, it allows for knight jump to 7-7. And you might be wondering what if he opens up now. It's pretty scary, right? Because there will be empty square right here, but that's okay. You can just accept it. Then bishop to 5-5 is a good idea. If he defends like that, bishop takes it, silver recaptures, and pawn drop on 7-4. If he takes it, then you can fork the silver and the king, right? And if he does nothing, you can promote it. on 7-3, so his defense is gonna lose its balance. But if he tries to protect it by gold for 2, then you can just keep going. He takes it, silver recaptures, pawn drops, and it will never go back down. Instead, you can take this pawn. It's possible because his gold is here. So it's never gonna happen if his gold already here. So that's a difference. So you need to be careful. But anyway, he has to take it. Then you can sacrifice your bishop, knight recaptures, and pawn drop. So it's pretty good, right? So you're gonna win this knight as well, but he has silver and bishops, which are not good pieces for defense, so you will be fine. And all the way back to this position. This pawn push might be too soon as well, so instead he would push this edge pawn once again. Then you can wait as well. Instead of knight to 7-7, which is tempting, you can push this pawn. And once again, if he opens up this diagonal now, you can accept it. Then this time pawn to 7-4 will be a good idea. If he takes it, then bishop to 5-5 is so strong. If he drops a bishop like he did before, you don't take it. Instead, you can sacrifice the bishop. Then you can attack the king's head. If he takes it, silver develops, and you can drop a pawn right here or here. And if he defends like that, silver to a3, king goes back, then silver promotion. This is almost a brink mess, so you are winning actually. If he drops a pawn on 7-2 instead, then pawn to 7-3 will be good. If he tries to defend, then again silver to 8-3. He has to go back, pawn promotion, and gold recaptures. Then silver to 6-3 is a threat mate, and it's really difficult for white to defend. Obviously, he can recapture your silver this way, right? But if he play gold, left gold to 6-3, and it's going to be checkmated, so you're good. And all the way back to this position, he would also play right gold to 6-2 to complete his defense. This time, this pawn push doesn't work, so you need to wait. So instead of this pawn push, knight to 7-7 will be good. If he opens up this diagonal, this time this bishop can go to the left. If he tries to develop the silver to attack this file, you can exchange pawns. Then it goes back to 7-5. This is a good position because you can shift your rook to central file to focus on the file. You can also develop your knight to 8-5 to attack this edge. So you have basically two options right here. And like I showed you before, this movement isn't very scary because you can complete your castle to protect the second file, and there is no follow-up for white. This strategy once was very popular in the professional world for its offensive nature. A key to success is to fully mobilize your troops, and if your opponents try to build a usual shape and think later, you can win initiative pretty easily. Alright, that's gonna do for this video, and as always, thanks for watching and see you guys later. Bye.